What I found for myself and witnessing others is that when we can witness one another in a space that is dedicated and created for us to reconnect and remember our higher selves, Sophia God, the Ascended Masters, then it brings so much healing empowerment for the parts of us that feel unsafe to be in connection in that embodiment. The parts of us that feel like, whoa, I cannot connect because it feels too vulnerable. It is so healing to be heard in our own inner wisdom. Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Nayeli Dalisay and I'm a certified Sophia Circle leader, and I'm so happy to welcome you back to this last part of the 6-week mini series of my journey through the Sophia Code and with the Sophia Code the last couple of years. Oh my goodness, what a journey this has been. It's been such a really beautiful thing for me to go back in time and reflect and dissect the timelines of what when happened in my own journey of the Sophia Code. I hope that there were some golden nuggets and pearls that you were able to take with you on your own journey through the Sophia Code, no matter where you are, no matter what you are experiencing, no matter what is coming up for you in your own life. One thing that I feel I have not stressed enough during this journey is the way that I really have shifted my perspective on life and on my experiences. The way that I have been able to walk through so many initiations in a very accelerated way, I would say the last years, boils down to the moment and to the fact that I truly believe that I'm the creatrix of all my life, my entire life experiences, and that everything is coming into my reality for a reason. So any viral belief system that might come to the surface, any challenge that might come to my life, I take a step back once I can, once I'm sort of out of the yuck of the viral belief system that comes to the surface. I take a step back and then I ask myself the question, why am I creating this? What is the message that has to be heard by myself? Which aspect of myself wants to come back home right here, right now? I shared last week that one of my biggest initiations in this lifetime is human interactions. Still moving through that in my own personal life. And through that awareness, I've also witnessed my consciousness projecting so many things onto other people that is not of service to anyone at all. But I can take a step back nowadays and really have a conversation with my consciousness, because it is not about the other person. When I have my feelings about that person, it is about me, myself, and me not listening to myself, me not honoring the wisdom that comes through me not being in communion with myself. So once I can really take that step back and ask myself, like, whoa, why am I having this thought? Why am I having this resentment? Why am I having this XYZ towards this person, towards this situation? Then I can start having a conversation with my consciousness, with my inner child that really is asking for my attention and essentially for my love. We are all on a journey home, back home to love, back home to the truth of our sovereignty, back home to the truth of our connection with Sophia God. And in this journey, there are so many aspects of ourselves, of the infinity of our soul, that are calling us back home, right? So many parts of the infinity of our souls that are programmed into believing that they are separate, or that they are not worthy to come back home to the heart temple, right? So that's the way that I see this journey personally. So every time there's something that pops up in my reality, it is this invitation and this understanding, okay, I am creating this for the highest and best good of my own journey. Why am I creating this? What is the message in this? Which part of my consciousness wants to be loved for what it is in order to feel worthy enough eventually, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe in 10 years from now, But eventually, that part of myself wants to feel worthy enough in order to enter back back home, back into the temple of love, back into the temple of divinity that my higher self and my oversoul is residing in. So that's sort of the journey home that I really love to refer to, love to explore, love to experience and expand in. This is something that has been my guiding light throughout these last years. Every time something arises, I believe that there's something that wants to come back home to the wholeness of itself, to the truth of its sovereign divinity. So I just really wanted to convey this with all of you because I feel that I have not really shared that or had an emphasis on that the last couple of weeks, but this is the anchor. And the Sophia Code has really just supported me in navigating through this and supported me as well in learning to take that step back. Because when you're in the midst of the storm, when you're in the midst of the challenges, when you're in the midst of like all of this craziness of life, right? Of trauma coming off, of challenges, of fears, anxieties, viral belief systems, all of this. It's so hard to take that step back and look at the whole situation from a bit of a different perspective, from a higher self perspective, where everything makes somehow sense. When we're in the midst of it, it is so hard. And the Sophia Code has essentially supported me in taking this step, in learning how to take that step out, to zoom out, and to then allow myself to embody more self-love and self-compassion and feel more courageous as a result of that. So today I just wanted to share some aha moments, some revelations after me facilitating and leading Sophia Circle Journeys for 2 years now. It's been a wild journey, a journey of so much growth and inspiration and creativity for sure. And I wanted to share a couple of words about Sophia Circle Journeys with you. Sophia Circle Journeys are journeys where we walk through each and every chapter of the Sophia Code together. There are 13 chapters in the Sophia Code. We will be meeting for 13 times and we will be walking through each and every single chapter of the Sophia Code, which is really cool and it's really fun. Obviously, we don't have time in a gathering to read the entire chapter, so every gathering will be set up in a really clear way. We are starting with the opening invocation. We will continue with the water prayer, water blessing. We will continue with a guided meditation. And then we will read a snippet of the Sophia Code before we dive into some journaling prompts for that specific section that we read for each gathering. And then we will close in prayer and meditation. That's sort of the structure and outline for each and every single Sophia Circle gathering. This clear structure is in place in order for all protective mechanisms of our consciousness to slowly feel safer and safer and safer, right? Once we enter a new room, a new space, it can feel unsafe for parts of us. It can induce anxiety. Going through the Sophia Code and being witnessed by others can be huge. And having a structure that is set up the exact same way over and over and over again for 13 times creates a space for the aspects of ourselves that might not feel as safe in the beginning to slowly soften into this sacred space. What is really cool about this is that those parts that can soften into the sacred space can eventually experience the transmission of Sophia Christ consciousness in their own divine timing. If it doesn't happen in the first circle, that's okay. If it doesn't happen in the last circle, it's okay. It'll happen in their own divine timing. But we are creating this sanctuary space for these parts to slowly walk their ways back home. And simultaneously, we are also enabling those parts of ourselves that already feel safe enough to reside in Sophia Christ consciousness. We are strengthening the muscles for them because every time we gather together, we are choosing to reside in Sophia Christ consciousness. So the more often we can really anchor into this space and those aspects of ourselves that feel safe enough to experience this in our lives, in this sacred space and gathering, the more that muscle gets strengthened, the more we can anchor it into our daily life, the more we can have sort of this bridge and this communication between all parts of ourselves that are happen at the same time, which is fascinating. The more we understand what it feels like and what it means to come together in such a sacred space and sovereignty, the more we can also witness how we are living our lives where we are not residing in sovereignty, and we can also find creative ways to improve and up-level our lives, if that's the prayer that you have, which is really fun, which is really exciting. Another thing that I've really found through facilitating Sophia Circle Journeys is that being witnessed by others in our own higher self embodiment, or ever increasing higher self embodiment, is massively life-changing and healing. I shared that my personal biggest initiation in this lifetime is human relationships, once again. And I really know how it is to walk the initiations on my own, right? And for me, it's always been this push and pull of being scared of being in connection, while simultaneously having this big and deep desire to be in connection and residing in this higher self-consciousness with others. This has been such a huge prayer of mine because of the vulnerability that it is for me personally to be in connection and residing in this higher self-consciousness. So what I found for myself and witnessing others is that when we can witness one another in a space that is dedicated and created for us to reconnect and remember our higher selves, Sophia God, the Ascended Masters, then it brings so much healing empowerment for the parts of us that feel unsafe to be in connection in that embodiment. The parts of us that feel like, whoa, I cannot connect because it feels too vulnerable. It is so healing to be heard in our own inner wisdom, right? It's like what I shared in the first and second part of this series, is that the first time I met the Sophia Code, what resonated the most and the reason why I was so deeply touched was because I read that first chapter and I felt understood for the first time. I felt my inner deepest beingness, the core of my essence, was being seen, was being enlightened, was being blessed, and was being addressed through the words of Sophia and the Sophia Code. And I truly believe that, wow, this is something that we get to amplify as we gather together in community and as we learn to embody this Christed witness for one another in order to be seen the way that Sophia sees us in ever-increasing measures, no matter where we are in our journeys. This is the space for practice, the space for remembrance, or space for activation. And I've always said, since the first circle that I facilitated in my journeys, I've always said, the journaling parts and the sharing parts in the Sophia Circle gatherings are my favorite ones because I get to witness each and every one's inner master. I love what all of the inner masters are sharing. It's so much fun. It's so exciting for me personally because it's like, oh my gosh, yes, we're doing this together. And I get to witness so many beautiful human beings remembering how to listen and trust their inner wisdom in such a beautiful way. I love it. I truly love it. And I truly believe this is something that humanity is lacking, this active listening and witnessing of one another. It's something that we have been deprived from in society. It's so beautiful to witness one another, and it's so healing. And from there's so much creativity, so much inspiration that arises, because it's like, whoa, yes, we see you. You see me. And from there, we get to set that bar so high that we choose to meet one another there, in our personal lives, in our professional lives, in our day-to-day lives, right? Which is truly beautiful. So that's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway for me personally about a Sophia Circle journey. The biggest, oh my gosh, yes, thank you, I accept and I receive moment from Sophia. Obviously, each and every single human being has their own journey through the Sophia Code and through the Sophia Circle journeys. Obviously, there's a huge awakening and transformation that happens when we walk through each and every chapter of the Sophia Code, right? Together, there's an amplification, there's a witness, there's parts of us that can be met in community and in this witnessing mirror that could not be met. If you feel called to journey through the Sophia Code in community together, then feel free to reach out to me, and I'm really happy to share with you any upcoming dates. I offer English Sophia Circle Journeys and German English Sophia Circle Journeys, which is also really fun for people who might have German as their native language and they want to go through that in German. So the book is obviously always going to be in English, but the communication will be in German if it's bilingual. So that being said, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm so excited for you to explore and experience the Sophia Code in community, because this is what we're here to do. And thank you so much for being here with me during these last 6 weeks. It's been such an honor, such a joy, such a pleasure to share a bit of my story with you. It's been a story that I've never could have ever imagined, truly ever, when looking back to 6 years ago or 5 years ago. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was on a very different timeline, and I'm so grateful that I'm here now, because the clarity and the focus and the understanding is so much greater where I am now, as if I had just gone down my very classical journey. So yeah, thank you so much for being here with me, and all my love.